WNST. It's real fast where Chicken Palooza's going on. They've given me the shirt. I promised to wear it, and I think it looks awesome because it's Houston Oiler colors. But Chicken Palooza ends on the 31st. Make sure you get over to Royal Farms real fresh, real fast. Make sure you're downloading the Rofo app. You're using that when you're pumping your gas. You get your Western fries, your fried chicken, whatever you're getting there. Sometimes I get some Ben & Jerry's ice cream when I'm in Rofo and making a late-night run. Make sure you do that. So big thanks to them as well as our friends at Cole Roofing and Pfister Energy. One of our great sponsors around here is back for a second year. We are just delighted to have Coppin State aboard. We broadcast their games last year, have had all of the coaches from all of the sports on throughout the year. This guy's no stranger to the program. He came over this last year to talk about volleyball and women's volleyball. Tim Walsh joins us, who, of course, has been a longtime coach here in the area, now in his second year, first full recruiting class over at Coppin. And, Coach, I don't know a lot of folks know, but this is volleyball season, right? Like, this is the first weekend when football gets going and soccer and some other sports. This is your peak season in the MEAC, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's the big weekend for everybody. So teams started traveling yesterday, and some teams will travel today, and then kickoff is Friday.
All right, so maybe this did I date myself? Okay, but when I think of volleyball, I don't think of the bikini team and the beach volleyball and all of that. I turn 50 next month. And by the way, if anybody wants to go on our Nashville trip, toss me a note. That's my 50th birthday weekend. And volleyball to me is like sort of Flo Hyman in the 84 Olympics. And I had Mary Lou Retton on a couple of years ago, and I got to reminisce about all of that. I would think that if I step inside and watch volleyball, it's still sort of kind of like that, but I think the world's inundated with beach volleyball, right? Like, beach volleyball is what's in front of you now, men's, women's, Olympics, wherever it is, Misty May, all that kind of stuff. But at the collegiate level, there's still a couple of different games being played here, right?
Right, exactly. So beach is very popular. It's the number one growing sport in the NCAA.
Did not know that. Number one growing sport. Wow, okay.
Yeah, so that's, picking up, and that's what we see on TV, and that's what's advertised on ESPN, and they have the big tournaments, the AVP Tour, and things like that. But for collegiate, indoor is huge for us. So there's 336 teams, and, we're 6-on-6, and teams of 18 to 10 on rosters. So, it's a different game inside than it is outside, for sure.
Well, for you in recruiting and at this level and what you're trying to teach and who you're trying to recruit and get on the campus, it's all sort of new, right? I mean, last year you took your lumps, and this year you have had a chance to go out and say, I want these ladies on my team. So in trying to put something together with a volleyball program, I literally, sometimes when I've talked to bowling coaches or, a variety of different sports that we don't think about, I wouldn't even know where to begin in the recruiting side of things, but how it all works. Just from a football, baseball, basketball, hockey guy like I am, I'm fascinated behind the machine of all of it.
Yeah, so recruiting's fun. It's a long, tough, rigorous process, but, you have to invest in it, and so you have to determine your needs of the team, and there's different positions on the court, just like there is for other sports. So, once you determine your needs, then you go out and you try to find someone who's a good fit for your program, academically, athletically, and then, personality. You want to make sure that you find the recruits that can gel together and mold together and build that continuity and that sense of team and build a program.
Yeah, it's fascinating for me. I talk about Coppin. It's been a couple of months because summer's been here. We haven't talked about it. Every time I go over there and I walk around the campus, I think to myself, wow, you got something to sell over there. When you bring a kid into Coppin and you walk on into the gym and in and around the fields and around the athletic program, it's very obvious what's going on around there, and you've signed up to be a part of it as well.
Yeah, definitely. So we have our own little, we call it kind of like our island. You wouldn't think it was there. So it's beautifully landscaped. There's great buildings. Our facility, our PEC is amazing. It's newer. So there's a bunch of positive things, that we have going for us at Coppin. And I think that, people come and they're surprised to see that it's that nice of a campus to where it's located, in West Baltimore. So, there's definitely, our own utopia and our own little place, our own little world. So the parents have to like it, and the coaches have to appreciate it and embrace it, and, the students. So, they make their choice. So obviously they felt a connection there with the coaches or the program or the academic, and and city itself.
Well, I mean, you took this gig, and I see your background and doing things at a place, quite frankly, that I'm not familiar with, called the Volleyball Factory, and your background, and kind of an amazing story about you signing. You're an incredible sign language person as well in your real world when you're not coaching volleyball as well. But the volleyball background, and I, talk about Flo Hyman, or I talk about being out in Manhattan Beach. My son was out there with his wife, and I said, man, you got to go down and see what's going on in Manhattan Beach, California. Out on the beach with beach volleyball and all of that. And then I think about like young ladies whose parents put them into a program or put them into a volleyball factory, or people like you that coach the sport that are involved in it. But here's a funny story. You'll laugh at me. I live at the harbor, right? And I've lived here 15 years. Every once in a while in the spring or the summer, I'll walk around and there'll just be all of these tall young ladies walking around with volleyball gear on. And I feel like there's a volleyball sort of convention that happens in Baltimore, or like a high school or club level. These are girls from, it looks to me, to be 10 to 20 years of age who are playing volleyball with their family. They're filling up restaurants downtown. Am I nuts to think that something like that's happened here recently?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of huge tournaments that are called qualifiers. So teams come from all over the East Coast and even some in the mid-states, and they come over to try to compete for a bid to nationals. So at the club level, club begins about in December and runs until June. And so nationals are held in a city every year. And so Baltimore is one of the cities that holds NEQs, which is a national qualifier. So tons of teams come, usually 14s, 15s, and 16-year-olds.
See, I love when I sound smart on the radio. Isn't it great? See, you think I know nothing about volleyball, but I'm like, I wonder why all these girls are here. I mean, there's clearly...
Right.
Is that at the convention center? Did they set it up as a volleyball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. See, does this still happen, or am I nuts?
It does, yeah. So
now, these are the young ladies you're going to be recruiting to Coppin, and these are the kids that are going to be either on your court or court you're going to be competing on, right?
Correct.
All right. So there, I learned a little something. Tim Walsh joining us here from Coppin. Tell me about your season and about your girls that you have this year that you brought in, and how you're going to be improving Coppin State women's volleyball this season.
Yeah, so we're really excited. We brought on 11 freshmen this season. So it's a super young team, but it's a talented team. It's a focused team, a motivated team, and we're really excited as a coaching staff to implement our philosophy and how we want to run our defense and our offense, and have them really buy into the system at such a young age. And there's so many of them, so we're from all over the country, and we have 2 international students. So there's an opportunity for them to create lifelong friendships and bonds, and, really work together. Obviously, when you go to college and you miss your family, you miss your friends, but we really want to create that family environment and, create that bond, which is going to help propel us off and on the court.
Hey, give me the story about international. You said you've got kids that, from other places. How many places in the world are they playing volleyball the way? Not obviously Beach is playing in Brazil and whatnot, and we all you got to do is put that on during the Olympics. You can see where those countries are from. But I would think the indoor side of this in the Scandinavian countries and throughout Europe, historically, Asia as well. It's been women's volleyball is a big deal internationally, right?
Yeah, so it's starting to grow in other countries in Africa and things like that as well. So Europe has always had it, and Australia is getting stronger and stronger, and Canada as well. So it's growing everywhere. But the rules are pretty much the same. There's a few international rules that are different, and one that's really common is that the liberos, or the defensive specialists who are on the court and wear their different color jersey, they're unable to serve at the international level. So our Canadian player and our Switzerland player, when we were playing and practicing, they were like, yeah, we don't serve, we come out when we serve. So in NCAA and Division I, our liberos can serve for one position in one spot, so they're able to serve for us.
Why is that? What is the purpose of that? Like, I could explain why the American League doesn't have or has a designated hitter and the National League doesn't. Like, I could explain that. It wouldn't make any sense, but I could explain it. Why are there 2 different sets of rules for that?
I no clue.
Okay,
Can't
fair
help you
enough.
there,
Fair
sorry.
enough. Fair enough. I thought you were the expert here, Tim. Tim Walsh joining us here from Coppin State. He's the head coach of the Eagles. Tell everybody where your games are and how people can come out and watch you guys set and spike and do all the things the volleyball people do.
Yeah, so we are going to be playing our home games in the PEC Arena at Coppin State. So you can park in Lot H and then walk in through the main entrance and just follow the signs into the PEC. All our home games, if they are for a typical set, they are on Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then Friday nights at 7 p.m.
CoppinStateSports.com has the schedule. You can learn more about Tim Walsh up there. He is in his second year as the women's volleyball head coach. Shout out to everybody over at Coppin. Appreciate everybody coming back with us for year 2. We'll have the Coppin basketball games on in season and many, many visits from folks like you and everybody over there coaching all sorts of stuff. Baseball, softball, bowling, volleyball, basketball, track and field from one side to the other. Tim, thanks for getting out of bed and doing this with us. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Tim Walsh joining us here from Coppin State. You can learn more at CoppinStateSports.com. We are their flagship. We're proud of that. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 at WNST Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports.